You may have been getting ads on YouTube from a self-proclaimed nonprofit organization called Umma Relief. You know, the same YouTube that's been showing Israeli and Zionist propaganda in the ads is also now showing pro-Palestinian content in the ads. I don't believe it. So what if the pro-Palestinian content were just scams? What if Umma Relief was capitalizing off of genocide allyship and the Western world's general attitude towards throwing money at problems that we create? It's a scam. So that was my quick answer. If that wasn't good enough for you, I'm about to go into more details explaining why I think Umma Relief is a scam. And first thing we're going to do is take a look at their YouTube channel. Because honestly, you're going to lose a lot of brain cells watching this shit.
Right now, children in Gaza worry about when they'll eat next. Hunger doesn't stop in their world, but we can make a difference together. Umma Relief's Meals of Hope is on the ground, thanks to your kindness, providing meals every day.
So first, the fake voice is very alarming. Why would you just not use a regular human voice to talk about humanitarian aid? Unless you don't want anything to get traced back to you.
موتناش الصاروخ بده يموتنا الجوع. احنا بالنسبة لنا في الخيم مش عايشين عيشة بني ادمين. بنقص علينا كل شيء. بنقص علينا الامن، بنقص علينا الاكل، بنقص علينا الشرب، بنقص اطفالنا زي هذه.
They constantly put subtitles in, and I only speak English, but the way they never mention the war, they never mention Israel, they only mention that it's crisis, disasters, and they're hungry. I have to assume that Umma Relief is putting fake subtitles over whatever else these people are saying. So, easy to say, that's some bullshit. The last red flag off their YouTube channel specifically is how aggressively they show their branding in all of their content. Any video that they post, you're gonna see some pretty well edited logos of Umma Relief and their sister organization, sister scam org, ULFA.
The need is growing as food gets scarce. Your donation isn't just food, it's a sign of support.
Alright, so the last thing that makes it very suspicious is how aggressively they show off the branding for Umma Relief and another scam organization called ULFA. It's all over their content, and it's honestly edited, but it's edited very well. It'd be very hard to, look at that and immediately be able to distinguish that that wasn't real, unless you were really looking and paying attention. And even if the logos aren't fake, it's still just suspicious in itself how aggressively they put their own branding amongst all these suffering children. So most people are going to look at Umma Relief and immediately know that it's a scam. It's like all the red flags are going to sound off for them, like all the alarms are going to sound off for them. But the fact that they have YouTube ads running means they're making enough money to run ads. And then on top of that, if we take a look at the website, which we're going to do, it's very professional, super professional. It's going to trick people, and it is tricking people. And the proof is the fact that it showed up while I was watching a Fallout 4 YouTube video. And the thing about ads is there's no comments. You can't click on the comments for an ad so people can tell you that it's a scam. When you click on it, it's going to take you straight to their very, very professional website. If you go to their YouTube channel instead, and you go into the comments, people are going to tell you that it's a scam. So when you go over to their website, it looks very professional. It looks like almost every other nonprofit organization's website. It has multiple official sounding sections that literally model regular nonprofit websites. They tell you how you can save on taxes here in America for helping them help people overseas. And then the website gives you a ton of vague information about suffering all over the world. Just a bunch of numbers and a bunch of pictures of small brown children. And so when you try to donate, it'll go to your email and stuff, and it won't really let you go through anything official. That's when the first obvious signs that it's a scam. And secondly, they do not have anybody listed under leadership or their board members, and there's no pictures, no names, literally nobody who you could hold accountable for if, you know, they're scamming you. So their website's so official. When you scroll down all the way to the bottom, they have a parent organization called Umma. And when I went to that, it was the same scam stuff. I went to click on donate or whatever else to fundraise, and it just went to a dead link. And so essentially, because they are acting like a regular nonprofit organization, what they're really trying to do is to get you to sign up for their emails and their phone calls or whatever, so they can constantly barrage you with sad shit that's going to make you feel something, so that you just, you know, give them money out of the kindness of your heart. But that's on them. If they're dumb enough to get scammed, they're dumb. Nope, stop. Let's not put this on the people who are trying to give back. While maybe it ultimately leads to nothing, it's from the kindness of their heart. So they should definitely get a pass. Because the scam organization is preying on their want to give, on their want to help out, but then no real access to. The Umma Relief Scam Organization raised enough money to have ads on YouTube and to have a professional website and multiple websites to support the facade of the first website. It's gonna trick some people. It's really complex and it looks just like a nonprofit. So y'all remember when the earthquake hit Haiti back in like 2010 or something like that? I was a kid, excuse me if I'm wrong. But I do remember watching the Hope for Haiti celebrity stream with all these celebrities and all these famous people essentially vouching for Haiti.
If Haiti struggled so much before, then why should we have faith that we can make a difference now?
Remember those walls I built? Baby, they tumbling down. Didn't even put.
For CNN here in Port-au-Prince, I want to go back to a story you heard at the beginning of this evening. Halle Berry told you about a little boy named Monley, 5 years old. Monley, just 2 days after his rescue, we brought him here tonight. He is seemingly healthy. He looks completely different than he did just 2 days ago.
Yeah, they wanted me to be a part of it. Jay-Z and Bono, they were kind of the first two guys in Swiss, and then they just gave me a call. And of course, anything that could help Haiti, I want to be a part of.
Even one of my friends was like, we should just go there. I'm like, what are we going to do? Like, we'll be more of a pain on the ground there. Just, how can I help? And I think today, I feel good that there's something I can do. I can show up and help raise money.
Well, let me remind you that Haiti has been subject to Western intervention for the longest because they have successfully resisted it before. If you want to help, why not just send the money to the countries directly? You know, so they can pay their own peoples, they can pay for their own foods, you know? Instead, you launder it through a non-taxable American nonprofit, and then you use the philanthropic angle to set up roots in a slightly to majorly destabilized foreign country. And then you set up contracts with for-profit businesses that you may or may not have had a hand in creating, might even have some equity in it, and now both get to benefit while you give the Haitians the food you want to give them, the clothes you want to give them, and the education and values that you want to give them. All these studios and celebrities, they might have cared, but they really liked how the publicity was going to make them look in front of everybody, you know? They care for black people. They care for brown people. But it was really just a 2-hour celebrity special meant to fundraise for a nonprofit who then maybe did help Haiti, but they helped their organization first. It's the classic nonprofit organization money-raising tactic. Use the suffering of a black and brown country due to a disaster, a crisis, or a genocide, and then you use it at home to raise money for your organization first, and then whoever you may help afterwards. And whoever you may help might not even be the country you claim you're helping. So the scam organizations Umma Relief and OFA didn't really have to do much other than just literally copy the exact model of a nonprofit in order to scam folks out of their money. If you watch the Fallout show, yeah, amazing show, you might be familiar with this term, fiduciary responsibility. It is an organization's responsibility to its shareholders, to its financiers, and to the longevity of the organization itself. Board members of corporations and nonprofits adhere to these 3 fiduciary duties that make up fiduciary responsibility, and it's the duty of care, duty of obedience, and duty of loyalty. Duty of care is essentially that you have a duty to your organization to take care of it, to make sure that it lasts. But duty of loyalty means that everything you do is within the best interest of the organization, even if it means you might have to pass up on your own life or your own goals and your own benefits, or for the benefit of anybody else outside of the organization. That's a no-go. And duty of obedience is essentially just making sure that your company reports everything and is completely transparent with your financiers, your shareholders, and that you are following all current laws. If they have a responsibility to follow the laws, they can still follow it if they just make sure that the laws work in their favor. So the core humanitarian principles are humanity, impartiality, neutrality, and independence. All of this created by the United Nations, who love to uphold humanitarian efforts. An organization like the UNRWA has to adhere to this, but an organization like the UNRWA also has to adhere to fiduciary responsibilities. They have the duty of obedience to report who they're giving aid to, where the supplies are going, how they're using their money, and the people they answer to is the UN. The duty of care is to make sure that the organization lasts so that they can actually provide aid for people. That's fair. And then the duty of loyalty essentially is the fact that they are an organization that is shadowed by the UN. They have a boss. They have people who give them money, and they owe them shit. Even if it's not direct aid or direct money or like a return investment, they still owe them transparency, they owe them reporting, and they owe them the knowledge of how their organization is moving internally. I mentioned the UNRWA because if any organization should get your money to help people in Palestine, it would be them. People deemed by the international government to give aid to Palestine. However, they have ceased operations because Israel has been bombing them, Israel has been lying on them, calling them terrorists, and Israel has been pushing for the UN to investigate. And what did the UN do? They investigated. Israel said, UNRWA is Hamas! And the UN listened. They've been defunded and are under investigation from the UN for not demonstrating one of the core principles of neutrality, because they've been helping Hamas. So the UN created the UNRWA in 1949 specifically to help out in the apartheid state that Israel set up over in Palestine. And so now in 2024, about 60 years later or some shit, the same leaders causing the apartheid state, the Israeli leaders, called the UNRWA, a UN-formed organization, a bunch of terrorists, for saying they helped Hamas. And then so the UN is investigating UNRWA for not demonstrating neutrality, when in reality, if they did help Hamas, that is literally demonstrating the most neutrality you could have, is helping the people they're calling terrorists, while helping the people under fire from a genocide, while also helping probably IDF soldiers, is what they mean by the neutrality, is you help whoever the fuck is there. So when the UNRWA demonstrates true neutrality, they get labeled terrorists and shut down, at least temporarily. But even when they were operating, Israel was constantly denying their request to deliver aid because the UNRWA is bound to policy, and policy don't let them deliver, they can't deliver. Because of their duty of obedience, they have to listen to Israel, despite Israel being the people perpetuating this genocide. Alright, so I mentioned that because that was the official organization to help Palestinians from the international government, more or less. And all these Western American-based, European-based nonprofits are claiming to do the exact same thing with the money that you give them, except how? shit's not getting there. They just announced that Gaza doesn't have any more food, so they're not delivering any more aid to Rafah. And then so that essentially means that, like, where is this aid going? And I know you've seen the videos. They're being attacked. They're being stopped. The aid's not being let in. Point I'm making is if they're not going to let the official UN organization operate in Palestine, why would they let a privatized nonprofit do anything over there? So if you're chronically online like I am, you may have also seen like wind of this children's YouTuber getting shit on for raising money for Gaza.
The bullying is so bad. It's so bad. But I can handle this. Saying I don't care about all kids is like, it just hurts so bad. That is who I am. I love my neighbor. I love every child. Imagining for 1 second what a mom is going through, unable to feed her child, or give her child clean water, or keep her child safe. I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah, so Miss Rachel's been bullied online for raising $50,000 for the children over in Gaza, and you know she's getting bullied by like the anti-woke right. But yeah, so it's like it's pretty despicable. Like she definitely went online with the white woman tears, but she did not need to get cyberbullied for what was ultimately a good cause and from good motivations. However, Miss Rachel is an ambassador for Save the Children, so while she may not get paid from the organization, she definitely benefits directly from working with them. And her raising $50,000 for the children in Gaza and sending it on over to Save the Children, who knows where that money went. So Save the Children is another nonprofit organization based here in America that is claiming to be helping the kids over in Gaza. So I went to their website, I did a quick look through it, and when the first things they present to you, well, not really, they put at the bottom, but 86% of every dollar goes straight towards their mission. Isn't that so much? Wow! So they operate in over 100 countries, and only 86% of every dollar or whatever goes to their mission. And that's very vague. That could still include them keeping their organization running. But that would mean less than 1 cent is going to each country they operate in. And so, if Save the Children have a fiduciary duty to their company and to making sure their company keeps on going, they actually tell us how much it is. It's 14%. You know, it's probably more than that. But they tell us it's 14%. That is going probably to the organization and not directly towards the mission and the cause that they claim they're doing. So, 86% of 50,000 is 43,000. So we're gonna split that 43,000 up by 100 countries. I'm gonna give it to them. I'm only gonna do about 100, and that's only $430 per country. That could be divvied up. It's probably not as equal as that, if you get what I'm saying. When you go to the website, the only country, the only area that's being distinguished by itself is Ukraine. That's already had a plethora of, it's already had so much international support from the UN, from the West. They have a war for real because they were given weapons to fight back. You have to dig. You have to dig in their website to even find out that they operate in the West Bank. Why are they trying to hide that? Why is it so small and hidden away? When it's one of the most topical things that could probably gain you some money. I bet too much support for Palestine fucks with their money. I know I'm giving big hater energy over here. I just wanted to, make this video essentially to say that Umma Relief and Save the Children and all these organizations, they all are the same thing, scam or not. They're using the money for themselves. So be more intentional with how you're using your money to try to support Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, anywhere really that's under genocide or oppression. Because just throwing your money at it isn't going to get shit fixed. Especially not throwing your money directly at it, but throwing your money to another organization saying they're going to be giving money to it. Like, this isn't a problem where you can just give money to people who say they're going to help. The problem is that legal policies are enforced to make sure that these people and whatever lands they're from cannot get what they need to survive, so that they leave so that these people can come in and take their land and their resources for themselves. The problem is not the fact that they don't have it. The problem is the fact they cannot make it for themselves. So boycott, divest, especially if you're like me and all your money goes to your survival. Like, if you're gonna give money, consider what it could mean to not just give it, not just dump your money into an organization that's gonna do whatever the fuck with it. Boycott, divest. Our power is with our money, because that's all these folks listen to. And it's just as powerful not to spend as it is to spend. So if you feel like you have to give money to help Palestine, the Congo, any place under genocide or major oppression, maybe think about it as in not spending your money for the organizations and the corporations that are helping to keep these genocides at play, so that they all keep making money. Because I know everybody's always like, one Starbucks drink isn't gonna mean anything. They're not even really on the list anymore, I don't think. But it's the collective. It's the lobbying. It's the things they do legally to make sure these genocides can happen. And that's why the money needs to go away from these companies. Because they try to enforce, they try to make it so that these systems stay, that the status quo stays, and that they get to profit off of all these genocides. And there are people financing them. Zionists are hella rich, and they've given their monies to these causes to help keep this genocide going. And so to fight that money that they're giving, do not give them any more. Low-key, we in Cold War Part 2. Part 3, honestly, who knows which part this is? Maybe it never ended. But, point I'm making is we're in a bit of a culture war. Especially here in the West. So you can even help out in that sense, in just helping to shift the mindset of other people to focus on what's happening in the world. One, so they stop being ignorant and stop choosing not to pay attention. But then two, so that they actually care. That they actually give a fuck. And they actually know who to point fingers at and be like, yeah, y'all are causing these fucking problems. Talk about it openly. I would say talk about it politely, but fuck that. Like, it's a choice to be ignorant, especially with everybody around you screaming in your ear, putting videos in your face. It's a choice. So yeah, fuck that. Talk about it openly. And if they feel uncomfortable talking about a genocide happening, keep talking to them about it. They'll get over it, you know. Obviously, unless they went through that shit directly, do not talk about it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. For the anti-woke, for the middle centrists, for the people who just choose to live their lives and not give a fuck, make them feel uncomfortable, please. You don't gotta make them feel bad, but you gotta make them feel uncomfortable. They'll get over it. Stop having colonizer mindsets, one, but also stop letting the folks around you have these colonizer mindsets and not have them questioned in any way. Don't do that. They need to be challenged. They shouldn't be comfortable thinking like that. They shouldn't be comfortable being ignorant, and they should not be comfortable being able to ignore everything else happening in the world except for what's happening to them. Let's not accept that, please. Like, these ideas need to be challenged, or all these genocides and all these intense places of oppression essentially get reduced down to black and brown people suffering as usual, and they just need a bit of money to get them out of it. They just need some food or something to get them out of it. When in reality, it is capitalism, genocide, and imperialism that is helping keep all these people down. Thanks for watching me rant a bit. If you have any thoughts, agree or disagree, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm very curious, just because obviously I feel like people have talked about this before, but then it's just kind of frustrating to see it happen in real time, and then see these big tech companies like YouTube not do shit about it. Just let these ads play on and let people get scammed out of their money, because they're just leaving it to the algorithm. I could barely say it's YouTube, bruh. It's an AI. It's a computer doing all this. Please put some humans back in the chair I ain't saying work him 24/7, but I think I'd like a person behind the content being shown to me through advertising. I think it'd be a little nice. Or just don't show me ads. I hope I'm not the only person who's annoyed by this. I'm a relief. It's a scam. Goodbye. Lou, this for you. Real quick, Lou, this is for you. This is honestly more serious of a topic. But I decided to shout you out because I said I was gonna do it.
Lou immature, you're a boy. Kiss the commentate on top of my bed, and I like it. Thank you very much. This ending's for you.